Car keys?
Yeah.
It's going to be lighting half of the Dark Continent today.
I'm Brent Miller.
Brent, how are you?
Pretty good.
Good
So,
to meet you.
I
Are
need
you
to
going to
know.
be our guide for this little foray?
Yeah, and I just need to know what you need in the way of equipment.
Okay. We have more than enough. What we
Right.
need is someone who can show us, no, they don't, someone who can show us where to tie into power.
Okay. Well,
I need to get into a main box and then string it toward the main body of the house where we're going to work. I'd like to get all the gear to a convenient place all together, get the truck out of the way, and then have you and myself and Steve Fox, one of our hosts who will be going around with you, and Jan Yanahiro, who has disappeared altogether, take a little tour of the house quickly and see the areas that we're going to want to shoot in and make our decisions about where we're going to go, and then we'll know best about how to string electricity out for lights and the equipment.
All right. If you like, you can back the truck right in here.
Super.
The Winchester Mystery House piece is a typical piece for our show. What we try to do is to be informative and at the same time be entertaining. And I had heard about the Winchester Mystery House before and that it was an interesting place. I asked them for a packet of PR material so that I could find out more about it. And once I got it, saw that it was really going to make terrific pictures. So we decided to come down and shoot it. And the purpose of this is to let our audience see the place, really, and get them turned on to it so that if they want to go down and see it later, they can. And it's visually exciting. It's kind of an interesting place. It should make pretty good television.
Strange.
Bucket so nuts.
Bucket so strange. Gary, where's Gary? There. Where is the box? Where's the tie-in?
Right there, yeah.
Let me just take a look at it briefly, so I'll be able to think about it while I'm walking around. $220. 110. 110.
What I'm called, as regards the show, varies from day to day, because our functions vary from day to day. Some days I'm a unit producer, some days I'm what we laughingly call a field producer. A unit producer is the person who is in charge of a unit of people, of 4 people that will usually go out on a shoot or are involved in the pre- and post-production of a shoot. A field producer is what we call a cameraman. The reason we call that person a field producer is for union reasons. We can't be called cameramen, otherwise we would have to be union. In a shoot like this at the Winchester Mystery House, I am both unit producer and field producer. I'm producing the piece for the show, and I am the cameraman.
Yeah, just walk the whole tour real quick.
Yeah, quick.
Yeah.
Right.
And we'll meet you back down here.
Okay. Keep an eye on this.
Okay. Why don't you go? Oh, you sure you don't want to go? These originals.
Is this part of the
Yeah, this is what is known as the carriage entrance hallway. You'll notice the concrete blocks were purposely rough, and that was so that she could drive her horse and buggy in here and give the horses a little bit better traction. This way she could get on and off of her buggy without having to worry about the weather conditions outside. So we're going to quickly breeze through. We've got a tour that's coming in here.
Was most of the house furnished?
We understand about 75% was furnished. To give you an idea of how long or how much furniture that was, we understand it took the movers working 8 hours a day, 8 truckloads a day, about 6.5 weeks to empty the house. As we tell people on the tour, don't be alarmed that you're all standing on trap doors. But if you were to fall through, you'd fall the tremendous distance of about 1.5 inches down to the zinc building below. Originally, Mrs. Winchester had almost 162 acres, most of which she farmed. Going from left to right, if you look to the far left, you can see the small green shed over there with the yellow and red roof. That was her gardener's tool shed.
Good luck.
Let's go down. Let's go downstairs. Let's sit down for about 10 minutes, 20 minutes maybe, and decide which specific areas we want to see again. It's for 7 minutes, boy. It's going to be hard to get a lot of it in.
That's true.
Yeah, I think that rather than duplicating a tour in terms of the way you would run people through a house tour, since we can't hope to cover all of that at all,
Yeah, for sure.
we should take it in some sort of a logical house sequence. And if we could start in the front door, living room area.
Ballroom, living room, front door, ballroom.
And the ballroom.
Just proximity, I think you're talking about, not so much,
Yeah.
you know, we don't want to go from 7 to 1 and then back to 6.
What I'm concerned about is that you're going to blow your wad, as we say in the trade,
First.
with all the really great-looking stuff right in the front of the piece.
Well, not necessarily, because then you got those stairs. We could do the living room, front room, ballroom, then the stairs, switchbacks. In terms of how it will appear in the piece, not in shooting time. Right? The living room, front room, ballroom.
What would
Okay.
be the close?
Stairs.
What do you want to
Yeah.
do the close?
The issue of closing off the front of the house is very poignant almost when you come to that living room and the ballroom and say,
So
and then
beautiful.
after the thing, this was all sealed off, but that is an outgrowth of the room in which he was trapped.
Well, maybe,
So you
how
should go to
about
the room in
this?
which he was trapped first.
Very first?
Well, it would seem to me you should go to that bedroom before you go to these two rooms.
But can't you edit that?
When we began the show, we were told by Westinghouse Broadcasting that we were to do it using mini-cam technology, using videotape, three-quarter-inch videotape technology. We were all very excited by that because it was something that none of us had ever done, and it was fun to be playing with new types of toys. Since that time, we've come to both love and hate the equipment because it's very difficult to work with, but it makes terrific pictures when it works right. What we use essentially is an Ikigami mini-cam, and I'd like to get my hands on the guy who called it a mini-cam because there's very little about it that's mini.
Okay, roll it. And give me a good loud speed when you got it.
And it records onto three-quarter-inch video cassettes.
Tonight on Evening, Steve and I come to this house, the Winchester Mystery House.
Dr. David Fisher will have some diet advice,
Martin Dean tells us how to find a good lawyer,
more common sense, dollars and cents words from Marva Johnston.
and I go to a basketball game where the players happen to be deaf.
All that after this Channel 5 editorial. Stay tuned.
How do you feel about the fluff?
We should do it again.
Okay, here we
it's not
go.
common sense, it's dollars and cents.
Solid.
For audio, we use wireless mics. We use Sony ECM50s, little lightweight lavalier microphones, and we use radio microphones, which means that the talent have on their bodies little tiny FM radio transmitters that transmit back to receivers that are on the equipment dolly that we take with us. They are an extraordinarily wonderful thing to have, and I hate them more than I can tell you.
This is the one that is eating batteries, and I don't know why, and I haven't had time to get it checked.
Miracle with radio mics.
Save your mics. Stop the tape and check it.
Well, as Scott Gibbs, our producer, said, it's kind of like Los Angeles. Started small and just kept growing. It wasn't
Water tower time. Okay, how high is that water tower? This 50-foot cable will make it up it?
35 feet.
Okay, this cable will probably make it up it. This one here.
Should make it barely.
Look at the connector in your hand. You will notice that it has 5 little registration type pins around it. Look at it. No, there you go. You must make sure as you're doing that, that the one in your hand is going straight in, that it isn't like this, or up, or down. It's got to go straight in. It's actually a slight up angle, but you'll see that it's got to be, perpendicular to the other connector. Lots of luck. I spend a lot of time, or waste a lot of time, trying to do things the quick way when I should do them the more smarter way.
I would not trust the railing too much.
Yeah, I have no intention of trusting it at all. Radio mics! Radio mics!
When I hit a job, whatever I'm shooting, I always try to figure out what kinds of problems I'm going to run into first,
Is the mixer on?
and try to make them attack me early in the day.
Mixer!
Do the toughest stuff first,
Mixer on!
because just by virtue of the intense concentration it takes to pay attention to what you're doing, and to always look at what's in the frame, because over the years of shooting I've discovered
Hold it!
things in frames that I never thought were there. You come bring your footage back and look at it, and suddenly you see a wire hanging down, or you see a light stand in a frame, or you see a cable running through a shot, or some guy's looking in a window giving you the finger or something. and you didn't see it while you were shooting. So you have to pay very careful attention, the intense concentration, and that's exhausting.
You're facing the other camera, then turn and look out.
It was bound to happen.
Actually, we're not shooting at all. We're just trying to get a free tour out of this.
Right.
You gotta break for lunch. It's gonna be a long haul. I mean, it's gonna be a tough afternoon. I would like to take about 20 minutes, I think.
I can imagine.
Okay, well, let's do it.
20 minutes?
It's been my experience in the past in filmmaking, which is where I came from before getting involved with this show and working with the minicam, that you have to be 50% pack mule to do this kind of work. You end up spending most of your day carrying things, hauling them, pulling them, fighting the equipment, fighting stairs, narrow corridors. This house is impossible. I mean, it is an absolute, I mean, think about it. Here we're taking very sophisticated, very delicate equipment and bouncing it up God knows how many stairs, trying to squeeze it through teeny tiny little corridors.
We'll cut across the 3rd floor and then go down 1 flight of stairs.
Okay.
Actually, it's 2 flights, but it's 1 floor.
Any down that we can go, I'm happy for.
And trying to light essentially unlightable areas because there's no place to hide the lights, and still come up with nice looking pictures and coherent audio that will flow from place to place to place so that people will come away with some sense of what we've tried to show them. And that is the most difficult thing.
That's this. We'll just use a little bit of that. We've got to be, that's one of the things we have to be, is very economical everywhere. Don't let anything ramble on very long, because there's going to be so much. You know, kind of if we do like a 3.5 minute thing with you walking from one room to the next, there's half the piece right there, and it's going to be a bitch to edit. Okay, this goes up on the floor, up there.
Okay. Let's...
Can you stop? Jose?
So they'll probably come up like this. And over. And down. And across the crescent thing. And up over this way. I will discover our two charming...
Very subtly.
Everybody knows the crest up.
Okay.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
Let me find the tape.
So you're going to talk a little bit about what you're seeing down there, and you're going to talk a little bit about what you're seeing here, and about the experience of this place. Gee,
Yeah.
you know.
We'll probably travelogue it until you get to about there, and then chat from there on about the woman herself.
And it doesn't matter because we're on the same time.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay?
Don't use the word bit,
Right.
and don't call them
Stop.
folks.
Don't call them folks.
No folks,
And no
and no
laughing.
stuff,
No
and no
bits.
laughing.
No laughing. None.
Well, you know.
Zero.
No
You know what I
laughing,
mean.
no
Fun.
bits.
Yes, but
no...
let's keep that
Fun and pleasant.
mild, whatever. Ask her to roll and record, and give us a shout when she's got speed good and loud.
Roll and record, and give us a yell when you got speed, Sharon. We can't hear you very well. Kath, could you stand back there?
In addition to which, Sharon, I would like to point out to you that you now have control of the recorder. I can't pause it or start it. It's totally in your hands, so roll it. I'm going to walk and go right between you. So as you see me coming at you, turn to look. And I'll time my move to your talking about the bell tower.
See, turn to look at this. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And action.
Okay, we are just about out of time, but there's one further thing we'd like to show you. It's right back here. It's kind of an interesting little scene, which in some ways capsulizes this whole place, the jumble of constructions and that bell tower coming out of it.
You know, reportedly, see, that bell was rung at 12, 1, and 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, for what reason, nobody knows.
It's one of the many rumors about this place. And you can see on the tower there, the kind of brick or bordered in windows.
Right,
13
13,
of them,
of
once
course,
again.
that was her favorite number.
But Jen, let me ask you what seems to be the logical question. Do you think that the lady who built all this, Sarah Winchester, was she crazy nuts, as some of the newspaper articles we read implied?
Definitely unique, I think. But you know, we have to look at, I think we have to look at it another way. If she was crazy, she built a magnificent house.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Stop
said,
tape.
folks.
Stop tape and check it.
Listen.
The show is like a monster. It eats material faster than we can produce it. We have 3 crews shooting all the time, working their asses off, just trying to stay even with that goddamn tube that eats up material. And it's insatiable.
Hold it. Are we there? Yeah. Gee, time flies when you're having fun. I think after this, before the cupboards, after the ballroom and all that stuff. But somewhere
Or
in
we
there.
could go right here between the front rooms.
Or between windows and the bedroom of the earthquake.
Bedroom where she died. Yes, okay, yeah, right. Okay, before we go downstairs to the biggies.
After bedroom earthquake, before bedroom earthquake.
Yeah, but we're not going to shoot it that way anyway.
What is
Go
windows?
from bedroom earthquake to
What is the
downstairs.
$1,000 Tiffany one, the other, the $4 window, remember? Side by side.
Okay.
One window looks out to the
So
wall.
we can do the windows, then this, and then we get to the bedroom where the earthquake is. We can do the bedroom where
Okay.
she died, and
All
see
right.
the windows. It's spectacular.
Yeah, we are in the seance,
See this,
seance
and then
mode.
go the other.
Small piece of gaffer tape, please, for antenna lead. It is important now, when you talk to us, to talk to them as a person to person. As a single person talking to a single person, as a friend talking to a friend, rather than as a tour guide talking to a tour. Because a few times, I know there were a bunch of us walking along with you, but you got, about half the time you were talking to me or to us, and the other half the time you got into your, you know,
Yeah.
the tour, the fashion of speaking of a tour guide, as well as the little quick-lived joke bullshit things that you were doing, okay? So if you can avoid that and stick with just talking, it'll make things a lot easier. We got speed?
No, not yet. I'll let you know.
Where are we coming from? Where are we going to?
We're coming from the window room, window sequence, and we're going to...
The window sequence, which means
Most
the
expensive
most
one.
expensive and least expensive. We
Generally,
just come from there.
by commenting about the
I
skylight.
have
Right.
noticed a lot of skylights.
Okay.
And we're
Woman
going
wanted
to
be
the
secluded.
room where she was trapped in after the earthquake.
Okay, so that's pretty much your cue. After we get through the basics of this very quickly, it's up to you to get us to say, or you can say, okay, I heard she was here in the 1906 earthquake.
Yeah.
Show us the room, fine. Wham, out that door.
Okay,
Okay.
let's go.
Okay, Saturday.
When you make a feature film, you say 3 months, 6 months, whatever, and I'll be done with this. And they work on a relatively sane schedule most of the time.
Who are we to meet?
The fellow's name is Brent Miller.
With us, it just never ends. We're shooting 5, 6, 7 days a week, and it doesn't ever stop. The minute you're done with one shoot, you've already pre-planned the next 6 or 7, and you have to wipe out the Winchester Mystery House out of your mind and say, that's done and over, goodbye, what's next? And just turn your attention altogether, totally, to the next project.
Next room.
Victory!
Not exactly, we still don't have audio.
You want me to help string cable?
I mean, this is one room, but we're going that way.
Next to what?
2 other rooms. You got the room that the earthquake happened in,
That's in the
whatever.
front. It's in the front. That's all in the front.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay, I have no idea which is front, which is back. Excuse me.
Earthquake room is in the front or the back?
In the front. The only other thing we're doing in the back is a 7-turn staircase, and that's on the first floor.
When you finish something like this, when I finish something like this, what frequently happens to me is I sit down and look back at the place and say to myself, I wonder if we got it. I just don't know. We've been through 160 rooms. We've pulled cables up and down corridors, and we've lit and relit and relit and relit, and we've tried to pick interesting angles and tried to make the audio so that it would flow, and I have no idea whether or not it worked.
To meet you in the seance room with some wonderful stained glass windows. I wonder if we could take a look
Would you
at
like to
some
go
of
see
the...
the most expensive window in the house?
Right this way. Okay.
The years and years I've been doing this leads me to believe that I'm probably right, it probably did work, but you get fooled many times, and you're never sure, especially in something as complicated as this is.
Okay?
Yeah, she can just walk through.
It's getting
they're eating pieces.